All right, y'all, let's do this. Welcome, 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 everybody. Everybody, welcome. I am King Ruler, and this is Heal PTHD. And PTHD does stand for Post Traumatic Hood Disorder. I take full credit for that title. I created it about 15 years ago, and I'm finally bringing it into fruition now. But let's talk about what PTHD is so that the audience can know what we are talking about. Well, PTHD again stands for post traumatic hood disorder. Now, there are things that go on in the hood that is not normal nowhere else but the hood. Concepts, ideas, ways of life, speak, even religious practices, um, a lot of things, societal norms that are kind of eclectic to the hood. But does that make them the right thing to do? And have those things really helped us or hindered us in our growth? So, we're going to talk about a topic tonight related to a concept to me that is pretty dominant in the hood. Coming up as a youngster, you will hear these phrases all the time. We've probably all heard it. You need to go to school, get you a good job, gather those degrees, as Kanye West once talked about. Gather those degrees, get you a good job, find you a family, get the picket fence and the dog, and call it a day. But the question here is that just because that sentiment has been handed down for decades now, probably over a century now, probably since post slavery, I can see at one time that may have helped us. But the question is it still helping us now? Or is it more pertinent to get a trade school at this time? Does trade schools pay off more than college degrees? Because you hear less about trade schools, and primarily because the colleges have all of the sports and all of these attractions to it, but trade schools just have the trade. But in the long run, which direction is probably best to, I wouldn't say push the youth towards, but to at least expose them to let them know what their options are versus what we've been told for way too long. Everybody following me? Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'll start off with the first question of the day. And I want to get kind of like the background understanding of what y'all feel certain things are. And we will lead more into it. But I want to lay some foundational because I want to understand where we all stand with this. And I'm sure our audience does too. So, was do you think that college degrees was created in order to fulfill the purpose, the passion, and as I call it, the preferred employment of the person attending? Was it designed to cultivate the purpose of a person, the passion within the person, or the preferred employment they're looking for at the end of this rainbow? What do y'all think that college was kind of created and designed around in your mind? I'll start with the college graduate first. Start with the youth always first. Quaylen, what do you think? 60
Uh,
seconds or less.
yeah, and I would say it was two out of the three. The ones that stood out to me would be passion and the job preference. The reason I say that is because with the passion, some people they go in there and they get a major, they don't know what they want to do, and they're out there just picking stuff and they're just going throughout. But then there's other people that know for a fact when I go in that I want to do this or I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist or whatever it may be, and they already know their interest, and they go in and they can find those passions, find people interested in it at a higher level, and they can really dive into the stuff they want to do. But a lot more often, you're gonna hear for like a job to be like, "Oh yeah, I got this major because I feel like it will help me get this job." But I feel like that doesn't really work nowadays because nowadays a lot of people are working jobs that they don't even use their degree for, or even have jobs that don't even like need the degree to do and things of that nature. But I do feel as if those passions and those job preferences are two of the main reasons why like the colleges are like, this is what we're here for.
Ashay. Thank you, brother. Jasmine, I go to you first. Ladies first, after the youth.
No, you can go first. I'll go last.
You sure?
No,
Okay.
no, no, no. I'm a gentleman. I am a gentleman. Ain't gonna happen. Go ahead, guys.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot the question, but I think that college is great. I feel like it teaches you community, how to have develop social relationships, and I feel like it is a way to structure people, like for school. I mean, for school, for work and jobs and employment too. Yeah, that's my opinion.
So let me ask you the question one more time. Do you think it was designed to fulfill the purpose, the passion, or the preferred employment down the line for that person?
I'll think about it, and you go ahead and answer that.
Don't forget the question, okay? Thank you.
Like he's gonna say something. I need to be the rebuttal on this. I already know. Think up the question. You gonna get it.
Your turn, TJ. Go ahead. Let the dogs out, baby. What you got for this one?
Man, you know me. I think it's just, well, let's go back to what Rockefeller said back in the day. They created these schools to create employee training camps. He said he didn't want no competition. He don't want no country full of thinkers to take his place. So he wanted a country full of employees. And that, I believe those are the training camps right there.
So are you calling employment training camps?
Yeah, I mean, what is it? What are they, slave wages? They say they getting paid slave wages. Majority of our college graduates make less than 100,000. 80-90% of them do. Only 1% make over 100,000. But there's data out there says, what is it? 100 to 400,000. You are comfortably poor. So it says what's going on. But then you got to look at all the different things. You familiar with the Koch brothers?
Yep.
The Koch brothers deliberately go through the education system to make sure that our young people don't graduate with no knowledge that can go off and start businesses, etc. They make sure they're like being weaponized. Colleges are weaponized to go against us as a people.
Okay, that's interesting. This brings me to a sidebar question. So why do you think that colleges are so revered then? Like they're so placed on a plateau as far as necessity to set yourself up in life. Like why is that such a big thing then?
College, was that familiar or anybody?
I'll go back to you for that.
Okay,
TJ.
college, it's so revered. It's just like the church. It's the replacement for the church, if that makes sense. They're playing the long game. Just like when they went to Africa, they brought the Bible in. Everybody loves the Bible. We can't go against the Bible. We can't speak out against the Bible. So college has that same energy around it. It's like we sitting in Black Man's Lab. Entrepreneurs stand up. Everybody like, oh, okay, cool. Who's next? They be like, oh, he's at Howard. Everybody standing ovation. It's like, come on, man. Like, wait a minute. I create the jobs. I'm gonna hire everybody. What do you? I don't get a standing ovation. It's that by design, because we're taught that if the name ain't doctor, professor, or something like that, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Or spoken people, or the doctors, professors, pastor, bishop, etc. The people that they put in front of us to lead us.
I say, dang, okay. Quaylen, what you got? I think you had your hand up for a second.
I was gonna say, because at first that higher level of education was a way to set you apart. That I would say, because like when everybody was working on out in fields and things of that nature, but when we need a job or things of that nature, and try to get some money, what's gonna set you apart from this other person? Oh, well, I'm educated. I've showed that I can go through something, commit to it, and come all the way through it. It's like a badge of my commitment that I could go through and finish what I say I started, things of that nature. So I feel like that's why initially that was so revered, because with the higher education comes more opportunities and things of that nature. But now I feel like it's more so a mainstay where you'll hear that majority of people have the college education and the jobs aren't necessarily there anymore for that. So that badge of commitment is really there, because now there's other different ways and avenues that people are going about trying to do the things. Or they don't care about the commitment. They be like, yeah, you can find another job soon, but you're still working, and not the entrepreneurs that TJ was talking about. Even though those are entrepreneurs that come from college that can use that critical thinking, but even then, a lot of times entrepreneurs are the ones, like he said, are hiring the people that's going to school and doing all of this, and they didn't get that degree. And there's people who have. I'm not knocking that, but I'm just saying, yeah. At first, I feel like it was because it was to stand out. Now that everybody has it, it's not as critical.
I'll jump in there.
Go ahead, Bob.
Not to blast college, I'm just going off of the facts. College graduates make up less than 3% of entrepreneurs in America until recently. Now they're kind of climbing because of the economy. But that says a lot right there.
I mean, the majority of people that I know that have made it don't have a degree. To be honest with you, I know a lot of people who are millionaires. I ain't gonna say a lot, but I know enough millionaires that I do know. None of them finished college,
right? Or attended,
even. But the majority of them did, because I used to play hoop with them back in college days, and some of them made it, but they didn't graduate with no degrees. And 9 times out of 10, the people who graduate with a degree don't get rich in what they got a degree in.
Right.
If they get rich from whatever they're going to do, right? But that's not really a prerequisite to success, if that makes sense. Jasmine, why do you feel like, because you're a college grad, I believe, why do you feel like college is so important on the to-do list, particularly to our parents who really push it to us, our schools? I know why schools do it, but parents push the agenda of college degrees and walking across that stage. Why do you think it's so revered to you?
I mean, there's a lot of factors. I feel like it depends on our parents' age. So like my mom and my dad are almost 60. So like my dad didn't, I think he has an AA degree. So it's important that I finish and, complete my master's degree because he didn't get a chance to. And my mom has her master's because she has it, I have to get it. And, me and my sisters. So I feel like because of their age, it depends. And then other factors, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I think that was probably like the main important reason is because the parents, they're just generation that, they just expect you to have this degree. Like my mom, I did entrepreneurship and she was just like, you need to go get a real job. Like she was telling me you need to get benefits. And I'm like, but I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to make more money. I want to make 6 figures. I want to do what I'm passionate about. And I'm not a social worker because of what she said. I'm a social worker by default. But, so I think they just want security and they're afraid to take leaps and they're afraid to step out and fail. And I think my generation, isn't. We're not.
I think my generation we were kind of 50-50, I'll say, because we grew up in the era of a different world where college was put on the Huxtables and a different world cast, Jasmine Guy, all that stuff, Dwayne Wayne, all that. Like it was pushed to us to make us want to go. But before that, it was still like get a job, because back then you can get a job and take care of your family a little bit, right? You can get a job, buy you a house, y'all can take vacations just off of the job. But now things are different. It's not the same. Even during you guys' generation, I'm talking like from the 80s babies on up, it began to shift. But we still don't see the introduction of promotion for trades, though. We still don't see the commercials on TV. We still don't see the advertisements on the billboards. We don't see the promotion and the push for trade. I have a few friends who have trades, and majority of people name main trades like HVAC or plumbing, right? But there's different trades. There's more trades than that, right? I used to go to ITT Tech back in the days. AutoCAD was a trade. Electrical engineering is a trade. Like there's different trades you can do, but you don't. And again, where are the trades that are more, I don't want to sound sexist. I know I'm in a cancel me culture right now, right? And everybody can do everything they want to do, right? But there's no trades that's more universal that everybody could be involved in besides the ones that we always choose. So with that question being asked or being said, was trades created to cater to one's talents? Do y'all think that trades, the concept of trades, were created to cater to one's talents or to improve one's ability to be hired on a job faster than someone without a trade? Seems like it's always leading back to the job. But what do y'all think? Do you think it's catering to, is it built around catering to one's talent? Because you can't put all these talents in one trade school. And I'll get to what I think about all this stuff in a minute. But I want to know what y'all think. I'll start with TJ, since I know you're going to come off with some alley-oop stuff.
I was more on the call me next kind of conversation like my sister, but I mean, I think about, I pay attention. My whole thing is I'm always assessing. I'm a real critical thinker, you know. So I came out to Atlanta, for example, and I looked at I was at Atlanta Trade Technical College. They got this mega gigantic banner on the front wall, says 99% of our students go to work. I was like, wow. Like, I'd never seen that. There's something you never see on the college, you know, on the HBCU or nothing, you know. They're saying everyone who comes here gets a job. You are in demand. We need you. People need you. You're highly sought after in this economy. But I believe it started off at people who started off with the trades. That's how we all started. You know, when you go back, we were a nation of builders. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, oh, the Klan came and burned down the black person's house, and the next day the black community came together and we rebuilt it, right? And I always say, well, now we just gonna pray for you. You know, hey, sorry about that. Like we gonna pray that your house, that you get another house sometime. But hey, you know what I'm saying? So we all had the trades back in those days. Everybody had to do something because we were from barter. We were a bunch of barterers. We all bartered. So that's where we're actually going back to. So it's like, what can you do? What would I need you for if they flip the switch and cut the electricity off today, and you can't get it go back to work, and they're you know, what am I gonna need you for? What can you do for me? Can you fix my car? Can you help me board up my house, fix my house, build a bomb shelter? You know what I'm saying? Can you help me Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome? We're gonna take this Cadillac and this SUV and build a car. You know what I'm saying? Move around. What can you do that I need? Do you got food? Are you growing something that I could trade you? Some avocados or something? You know, what are you doing? You can't say, well, I'm a doctor. I'm be like, oh, medical? No, not that kind of doctor. Like, oh, I'm a medical and math. Be like, no, we don't need you. You know. And matter of fact, I look at these movies and they say, every time they say, oh, the Earth's going to blow up or it's uninhabitable, and they created a spaceship to go off and create a new colony in space, who do they take with them? They take
people with trades.
People with the trades to build everything they need, and scientists to go in there and figure out, which I'm not like a lot of the stuff is needed in schools, but we need to take those things that's needed. So we will be needed in life, is what makes sense, is what I'm trying to say.
I see. Appreciate that. What about you, Quayla?
I would say that is not necessarily for a job. I feel as if the people that I know who've gone to trade schools, they've been more entrepreneurial. I know one of the people, just in instance, that I know is the barber that I go to now. I went to high school with her, about 2 years younger than me. And I remember going to school, me and my brother, I have the keys to the car. At the end of the day, he come back with a lineup. I'm like, yo, what just happened? And he's like, yeah, you know, I just got a line of jazz at the back of the engineering room. And she became an esthetician. She got her licenses and things for that. When, you know, working at different shops. Now she was able to just buy her own house. And now she just cut people from the house and people come. And I see people who go, a lot of them is in aesthetics because I feel like Atlanta just has that. So a lot of these people are learning that because that's an industry in the market for that and can get into that for themselves. I know people talk about HVACs. Everybody want a home, but every home gonna need some kind of HVAC something. Like if real estate always gonna be popping, HVAC always gonna be popping too. Like it's hand in hand, and everything home building, like whether it be a carpenter or the electrician and things of that nature. So I feel and that don't have to be a talent. You don't even have to be good at it, but you have to learn how to do it so you can have a way to be useful to do whatever it is that you do want to do. So I think that's more so what the trade schools. And I feel like that's the next wave. People gonna be like, yo, it's cheaper, it's quicker, and I have a skill that I don't have to just be here in Atlanta to do. If I move to Kentucky or Cali or wherever, that skill can come with me kind of thing. So
right.
I mean, that's interesting because I was just about to ask Jasmine that question. I was going to ask you, Jasmine, trade versus school. School is way more expensive, as Baba just said. You take debt with you when you leave school that most people never pay off, right? Knowing that and knowing the repercussions of not paying off of your student loans. I remember I saw a documentary about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even longer, but they were showing how they were just busting down people's doors 6 o'clock in the morning, taking people to jail for not paying their student loans because the government loans, they wanted it back, right? So with all of these things over your head and knowing that trade schools are significantly cheaper, why do you think the trade schools are not being popularized as it should be? Because the majority of us are not going to do the work of a college degree, so to speak. Majority of people are not going to be in the corporate offices. It's just not going to happen. Somebody has to work the 9-to-5 style job or open the business of a 9-to-5 job. But everybody's not going to walk that stage at Morehouse, so to speak. Why do you think that the trade schools are not being more popularized as they should be for those who need it?
I think as a social worker, we actually, for the kids that have a hard time like in life, we actually promote trade school. And I think it maybe is promoted for kids that are more troubled as opposed to those kids in high school that like got good grades or were in sports. Like I went to college because I ran track. I wasn't even really thinking about college for myself personally. But a lot of people like to do sports. You know, that's why they go to college because or they like parties or they like fraternities. So I feel like college is a social aspect of life, and you can gain, honestly, like if you become a USC alumni, you're in with whatever, if you want to be an attorney or wherever, you get access just by joining those different clubs. So I think it goes both ways. With college, you can get into, you're able to network with different people. And then with trade, I don't know. I just feel like it's promoted even in prison. Like I dated this one guy and he was like, oh, I have an HVAC certificate or I don't know what it was called. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Where'd you learn that? He told me in prison. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So like apparently, in prison you can learn that stuff. But now he makes 6 figures, from that skill. So I don't know. This is just, I don't know a lot about trade, but from what I've observed, it seems like it's promoted towards people who are more underprivileged or like have more of a hard time kind of, I don't know, in school or something like that, focusing.
Okay.
She touched on something that I wanted to say right quick. That network that you get from college is real strong. Like when you go anywhere and there's like a dude from Morehouse there doing something crazy, like in all the time zones, like the network that you get introduced to through certain things that you go through in college, whether it be from people's fraternities or the alumni chapter and things of that nature, you find some real solid stuff from there. So that isn't to be slept on. You can still find that network and gain it elsewhere and things of that nature, but that is something I feel like college has right now that trade schools don't have, is that aspect of it, of a community after you leave that class and things of that nature. So I think that is pretty important as well.
I want to jump in on that one as well. I talk about it when I go to these. Matter of fact, I'll be at the Black College Expo this weekend in Atlanta.
Hey.
So I talk about this all the time. I said, I did not go to college, but if I did go to college, I would be in there with an agenda. I'd be like, you running political science, possible mayor, something like that? Okay, I need to know you. You on my new friend list. You know what I'm saying? Law, you gonna be an attorney? My best friend. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Coder over here. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know you a nerd, big thick glasses, but you on my friend list, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Because with this, me, TJ, the real estate guy, tradesman, I need you, Mr. Politician. I need you to be the mayor so you can give me some of them contracts to build that brand new courthouse, 2.2 billion. Or, oh, you need me to build that awning over the airport like my sister did. 800, was it $300 million or something to build that awning over Hartsfield Jackson? So those relationships, my attorney, oh, I need you to look out for me. I can't afford to give you $1 million to go in here. I need you to go to China and sue them for my patent they stole. I need you to protect me while I go in there and get these contracts, because we're going to go over there with the other homie and he going to give us this contract to build this $2 billion courthouse, hypothetically speaking. And I need you to look over everything, if that makes sense, you know? So we got to go. College can be tweaked and it could be amazing and create a bunch of killers that could create jobs for all of us. You know what I'm saying? But without that tweak, it's just wasting time. All of those relationships is a waste of time. It's like they use those relationships. Oh, I got me a job. My homie hooked me up at Google. I work for Google now. You know what I'm saying? My homie hooked me up. I got my homie, the attorney, got my son out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? He got my son, but he didn't come in and help the community. You know what I'm saying? So I look at things differently. And as an entrepreneur, I look at it as in, we need this to work for you. We need you to be successful with this. Just like, you know what I'm saying, I'm looking at, as a business owner, I look at other business owners, I need all their help. You know, I'm thinking like, ooh, that's a good building for such and such, the attorney. We need to buy that building and put her in there for her law firm. Or that's a great shop for such and such, you know, so let's buy the local real estate. But our college graduates see no need, no value in buying no local real estate. They're not coming home starting businesses, and they're not coming home to run the mom and pops businesses, the pops HVAC system. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that. They're like, oh no, that's not a real job. In fact, the school education system encourages college or else. I've been told that on several different fronts all around the country. If they do promote the trades, they could lose their job. And that's what I don't like about it. That's dangerous.
That's actually true. I heard that when my son was in high school too. When his counselor said that in a meeting, I heard that loud. Yeah.
College or fail.
College or fail. Yeah. See, to me, college is like rebottled up talent. College to me is like a bottle of water. Like somebody went to a stream, put a plastic bottle in some stream. We know it didn't happen that way. I'm just giving you an analogy. But they put this bottle in the stream, pulled it out and put a packaging on it and put it in a case of 24 and took it to a store and told people to buy this water because the water in your sink is disgusting. Somehow they have resold you on water. To me, college is the same thing. College is nothing but repackaged up talents that have been studied, observed, particularly from the plantation time, to see what people do well, how they do it well, how does this thing work, what's the statistic and the mathematics around it and the science around it, and then put it into a college and then resold people as if they don't already have the talent in them. Yep. Trade schools are similar, but not similar. Because you can have a trade growing up. I know people that have learned how to do plumbing just because their father did the plumbing as a child when he was a child. He went with his dad to do work his whole time, and then he turned around and became a plumber and opened his own situation up. If you grew up in a place where people were actually already doing these trades, what is the school for then?
Right.
It's only designed to make somebody money. But but probably starting from our parents and before, they have lost their way, and we bought into this system that's rebottled this water up, so to speak, and sold it back to us, and their ice is colder so that we can't do our own stuff no more that we naturally did before. We built this entire country, as they say, right? So why can't we do this again without going to college?
Right. I always say, people like me, the entrepreneur guy, figured out how to do some amazing things and said, "Ooh, let me package this up and create a curriculum and go back and give it to the school system so that they can teach the next generation how I did it, so that they can go out and do it too and improve it and make it bigger and better." You see what I'm saying? And create more jobs in the community. But somehow, some way down the line, it got broken. The system got broken, and college turned into, okay, we're going to give you a degree with this. You're going to be a doctor or get a master's or whatever. And then all of a sudden, over the years, now it's turned into, TJ, you don't have a degree. We don't want you in here. You can't speak to our college kids because you don't have a degree. You're like, wait a minute. I gave you guys the blueprint. You know what I mean? So how did that happen that our leaders can't come back and speak? It's getting into a college to go speak is like breaking into the bank to steal some money or something. It's like, man, you got to have an inside connect, to hook up somebody in there, inside man, to get you in, or it ain't going down. You know, I'm coming home with all this. I'm in a stack of magazines. I traveled the country. I ship cars globally. I'm very well, but yet I can't come talk to our youth and tell them what I did so that they can do it too. Does that make sense? Like, how is that even possible? That makes no sense to me. But hold on, let me switch the topic really quick.
No. Hold on, let me switch the topic real quick. Hold on a second. That's your own podcast. You gotta get your own podcast for that one. But speaking of what TJ was talking about, because I like to lay foundation before I get to the next thing. In 30 seconds or less, everybody, please, I'm gonna go around the room. I want you to describe or define what you call passion. Because I think passion is a thing that's needed for what you do, but I don't see a lot of passionate kids anymore about something specific, right? Something that they really know that they're good at, because like I said, we're not growing up in times where we've seen it from our parents. We only can watch it from afar, it being advertised on the TV screen for a college degree to be held. But the passion thing is missing. How would you define passion? We're talking to the kids now. If you were sitting in front of a child and about to graduate from the 12th grade, and you need to explain to him about passion and how important passion is for that person to be successful, how would you explain passion to them? I'll start with the newly college graduate, Quaylen.
I would say, because one thing I hear in a lot of the youth is that their role models are either just entertainers or athletes. And I'll be like, you want to know about passion? The Mamba mentality. Like, and they will understand that's Kobe Bryant, and this man, like, his thing was basketball. All right. Well, everything he isn't doing is going to be isn't going to be basketball. He's going to work on things around that. I'm going to make sure that, my focus is there. I'm going to make sure that I'm consistent. I'm going to make sure that I'm disciplined. I'm going to make sure I'm a constant student of the game, and just laying out some of the things that you need to be successful in whatever it is that you want to have, and whatever that is that you feel like, this is my end goal. These are the steps I need to take. That passion is what's going to get you to face that courage and that fear, and get you that self-discipline to find that end goal. That's passion.
But I'm trying to get to the definition of passion.
The definition of passion?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a good question. Can I throw it to somebody else?
Okay. Jasmine, how he pointing to Jasmine?
Jasmine. Of course you guys are. So for me, I feel like I would probably ask the youth, what is something that gets them excited? What makes you happy? What makes you cry? What is something that you really enjoy doing that you literally can do? Like, I listened to Les Brown. He said, what do you do? He's like, your calling when you can do that thing and get paid for it. And so I really like talking, and so I get paid to talk. But I really like talking, and I really like helping people. And so I would love to help develop people. So I would ask them, like, what's something that you love, enjoy doing? Like, or, if you died, today, like what would be something that you really wanted to do in life? So just like small things to ask them, like, to figure out what they like to do. Also, I would probably implement writing stuff down, like, writing maybe like 100 to 300 things down of what they would like to do in life, and that might help them figure out what they are passionate about.
I say thank you for that. Now your turn, TJ. What is passion, brother?
I mean, like she just said, you know, it's something that they really like. It's something they believe in, something that they're probably good at. You know, even if they ain't good at it, it's something they really believe in. They spend a lot of time with it. That's passion, you know.
That's what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say passion is where you spend your time and where you spend it the most. If you're really passionate about something, you could tell by like how much time you dedicated towards that.
I remember I was watching a interview by Kobe Bryant, and he was talking about his team, right? He was talking about, because they were kind of in a rebuilding phase, and he was kind of pissing everybody off in practice. And he noticed that he was always the only person in the gym working out. And he began to get on them. And only one of the people got what he was saying. But you can't make passion is something you can't teach. I can't give you passion. Passion is something that when you cross paths with that thing, you don't need an alarm clock. You don't need nobody to call you, remind you what you're about to do. You're going to automatically get up because it's already in you to want to go do that. No one has to force you to do it. So whatever that thing is, yes, it's where you're going to find you spend your most time, of course. But what about the times when you get fatigued? What about when the times when you don't feel like going to go do this today? What about the times you got an invite to something that you really want to go do? Do you turn it down? I remember also he had an interview with Allen Iverson, told a story about Kobe Bryant where he came to LA and he came to hang out with Kobe, and he was saying, "Kobe, what you about to do?" Kobe said, "I'm finna go to the gym." He said, "What you been doing?" "I'm finna go work out." He said, "I'm about to go to this party. Come with me, Kobe." Kobe like, "Nah, cool." He went to the gym. Like, he's not finna go hang with you. His purpose and his passion is connected. And he's not confused by what that is. Now, college and trades, to me, require the same thing. Which leads me into my next question real quick, which is purpose. I think purpose is a thing that is missing from technically both of them. Just because you can go to a trade, just because trade school rather, just because you can get accepted to a college, are you choosing something that's your purpose, or are you choosing it because it could potentially make you a good check at the end of the day? Those two things don't always commingle, particularly if passion is missing from it. So, how would y'all define purpose? I'll go to Quaylen because he's answered the question the easiest. He doesn't run from the questions off. Quaylen, how do you describe purpose? I'm interested to hear your connection with that as a youngster too.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that because for the past couple of weeks, people whose opinion I respect, I've been asking them when I have some time, what is your purpose? How did you find your purpose? Because I'm currently trying to figure out what is my purpose. And for some reason, I feel like it's to be a light. I don't know in what realm or aspect that means, but that's just like what I've come to like. What am I here to do? Like, I'm shining light because I find myself wanting to help others, shine light on other people and help spotlight them and things of that nature.
But hold on one second, Quaylen. You're a college graduate, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're still trying to figure out your purpose, right?
I am.
Do you see where I'm going with this concept? Like, this
That's messed up. Don't listen to him.
I'm just saying, like, why isn't there a purpose thing put in place before a person chooses and spends all this money on college tuition?
Because you have to go through something in order to discover your purpose. You absolutely do. College allows you, it helps you figure out what kind of person you want to be. You make mistakes. You might be drinking too much. You might smoke. You might have sex with too many people. You discover who you are when you are in college. That's facts, like facts. And like, especially with being an athlete too. Like, I learned so much about myself just by being an athlete, just by going to school.
Those are called distractions, by the way.
Call it what you want. I had a great time. It was fun. Okay. And I got to travel the world for free, 99.
But we're talking about purpose. Drinking, having sex, hanging out, going to the game, sleeping with the cheerleaders or the captain of the basketball team. That has nothing to do with why you got a tuition.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there.
What is the purpose? What is your purpose? Because to me, that is why you should be in college, to cultivate that purpose. Those things are going to be there.
That. They don't. How you gonna tell me at the age of 17, 18 years old, I'm supposed to know my purpose right off the bat? You don't know. Some people do, and that's awesome. I didn't know mine.
You know why?
I had no idea. I know what I like to do. I know I like running track, so that's what I want to do. I ran track in college. So there I was.
Why? You know why?
Why?
Because you weren't trained in that direction of finding your purpose. Most people are not, especially if you went to public school. Most people are not. Okay, you're not pushed into finding your purpose. You're pushed into doing what's marketed to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's marketed to you and what your purpose is two different things.
If you look up how many people, if you did a percentage of how many people went to school because it was their purpose was to want a better life versus my parents forced me. I'm just trying to make my parents happy. Mm-hmm. That would be a large number of people was just there to accommodate their parents.
Right.
Period. You know, that goes back to me. My mom told me college, military, or kick rocks. Get up out of here. Your choice.
But you can't sit on that couch, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't sitting on the couch. I was working on them cars in the backyard. I was only making $5,000 to $6,000 a month. And she was like, she wanted me to get a real job. You know, and then I said, well, I'm making about $5,000 or $6,000. She said, well, you ain't got no insurance. Like, so let the business go and go get a job so you can have some insurance. You know?
That's that old school mentality right there.
Yeah.
But if I can rewind it back to the reason why most people, why college was really going on, there's different kind of college. There's white college and there's black college, HBCUs, meaning white college, Ivy League college I'm thinking about. The purpose of them going to school is I own $1 billion corporation and you're going to school, but you know you're going to come home and run this company one day. You're next in line. So I need you to go to this school because other people like us, the politicians, the president's son goes there. The politician's daughter goes there. So I need you to go create a network with all of those people. That's why most people why business people put their children in college for the networking so that they can keep the family business going. So there's a big difference with us. We put our children in school because we looking to go on vacation. Like I've been raising you for 18 years. It's time for you to go because we already got the new house on the lake already built and we don't want you there.
Vacation.
You know what I'm saying? That's the best babysitter to get a person out the house in the Black community. College, military or college.
Purpose, y'all.
Looking at you like, don't do that again. That was a freebie, apparently.
I want
purpose, y'all. Purpose.
I would say college, Morehouse did help me find my purpose a little bit because even if you're looking like I said, for some reason I said I want to be at like Morehouse's thing is like on their logo it says X Factor X Loose, which means in there was light. And when I went there, I had no idea that, I didn't even know about HBCUs. I was trying to move out of the state and all of that. I saw a couple people on campus during the tour dressed in suits, and I'm like, I could rock one better than that. Found out Clark Atlanta shared a campus, and that Spelman was across the street. So my purpose for going to college was like, I want to be in this kind of environment, like, and I could find myself. And through that, the diversity from within that I found just within our people at the HBCUs helped me find my purpose. And it's like one of the things that's a part of my purpose is that I want to help my people do better because I know we have the greatness and from the diversity just within from Black people that came from different areas, or they got different religions or different financial backgrounds and things that they came from. It helped me find my purpose, and I know it's making sure that our people get right. That's a part of it. And if I was at a PWI, that part of it might not have been recognized, or it would have been longer to find that out. But instead, in them like 4-5 years, I was like, "Oh, I'm blackity black. I like this." So
let me ask y'all this. Talking about purpose again. What is the purpose of a plant? What do plants and trees serve purpose? What is their purpose existing on planet Earth? Do we know?
Brother, I think your question is flawed.
No, it's not. It's very purposeful. It's very purposeful. It's very purposeful. If you listen to what I'm asking you and stop trying to take over the listen, they do work because everything that's created has a purpose. Everything.
Most people don't find their purpose.
But that's a sad situation. That's because they're too busy in school.
The situation right now is
too busy in school.
They're too busy in school, right? Because you can't find your purpose in school. Purpose is already in you. You don't need to go look for it outside of you. And my purpose of talking about the crazy plant question is because plants have a purpose to clean the air, grow fruit, replant itself so that you can have something to eat. And the things that you eat that you fry in the grease can have something to eat so you can kill to make the grease pop and fry. The question is everything that you do, we have on this planet, those who believe in a higher power created everything from the ant to the lion with a purpose.
Brother,
including human beings that have a purpose for what they have came to contribute to this planet. Other than that, you're not supposed to die in the post office delivering mail. You're not supposed to die.
But somebody has to do it.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Who's going to get us our mail?
The post office is a man-made concept that has nothing to do with what God wanted you to do. That doesn't make the world better in no kind of way.
How do you know?
Well, again, the government's involved with it. That's how I know. But at the end of the day, I'm asking a question because everything from a maggot to a lion has a purpose. Why don't human beings know their purpose? And if you don't know your purpose, why are you spending hundreds of $1,000s just to go have a party, sleep with the cheerleader, do whatever else you do? I went to college too, so I know how it is. I know what it do. But that was probably one of my most lost moments of life. Like, what am I here for? Like, I really didn't understand it. Besides basketball, like, what am I here for? Like, I don't even know what I want to do in college. I don't even know. TJ, I know you're like double dutching. What you got for me, bro?
I wanted to go back to your concept of the seed.
Oh, here you go.
That seed was born with a purpose in life. When that seed found itself in that dirt, that purpose took motion.
Exactly.
Before the seed even knew what it was supposed to do, it was growing, and it knew it is programmed. It's hardwired. Our young people, they got to figure it out because they're so confused. We're eating the wrong food. We're eating we're drinking the wrong waters. We're the air's bad. Everything about it, but we're not putting that seed in the ground and then pouring some ketchup over it. We're not putting that seed throwing it in some rocks and then put some motor oil on it. Let's see what happens. But we're doing that to our young people, and we expect them to find their purpose with this booming radio on his head, with this always on the computer. He can't even focus and concentrate.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, so most people don't get their purpose because they're distracted. Are they going to get shot today trying to go to the store, go to school? Are they going to get shot in the grocery store? Are they going to get beat up by gangbangers? Are they going to get, it's too many distractions to recognize a purpose.
That part.
Let me explain this before we go to the next segment. We're going to wrap it up in a second. This thing is called post-traumatic hood disorder for a reason. Okay? And TJ just kind of like detailed a little bit of that unknowingly. See, the things that we're talking about, the reason why we're pouring ketchup on the seed is because of our traumas that we go through in our environments that we come out of. That's teaching us the wrong thing. So that trauma is playing out in college because it has to come out of you because you don't know any different. You're looking for something inside of you. You want to be something different. That's why you went to college. You want to be something different, but you don't know how to do it. And that can be very frustrating and trapping at the same time. So while you're trapped, you do what? You look for something to numb what you feel. I'm going to go to this party. I'm going to sleep with this person. I'm going to play sports. I'm going to do everything that has nothing to do with potentially being your purpose because you're pouring ketchup on the seed, as using his analogy.
I wouldn't say that.
But that's just how we are trained in the hood, not to think outside of what we have been told. Anything outside of that gets challenged to the core. What you got, TJ?
I remember my homeboy tried to help me and get me to hook up at his job after mom's put me out, after I decided to move out. Actually, he was gonna hook me up at Edison. He gave me the answers to the test. He told his friends TJ's gonna come, put his test to the top, and just go ahead and get him in. He's in. Dude, I failed that test with an F-. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't understand it. Like, all you had to do was write your name on it and check a few of them, and you was gonna get it. You just, what happened? You botched it. I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. But then years later, he comes to my shop. He went years trying to figure out what happened. I laid this dude's life out. He was gonna take over the mortgage on my house, and he had it all. He laid my life out for me. Years later, I'm in there running this full-blown lowrider shop. Cars going overseas, everything. And he walked in there and he said, that's what this was all about. That wasn't your purpose. This what you was meant to do. And we was trying to force you into something else. But exactly. You already indirectly had your purpose programmed in.
And what you
didn't let us distract you from it. Mom's like, you better get out. My buddy, like, don't screw this up. I got you. And I botched both of them. I just, because I already mentally knew without knowing. I don't know, if that makes sense, but I had a feeling this was going to be my life right here. And it worked out. It really worked out.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And that's how it usually works.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Whatever. But that's how, the host of the show, right? But that's how it that's how it usually goes, though, because when you get those roadblocks, that's where it's pushing you in that direction. That's the spirit saying, no, don't do that. Go over here. I had kind of had a similar scenario. I used to watch all my homeboys getting good jobs and stuff, and I used to be applying to these same jobs, and I always got turned down. I could never get the job. I was like, why am I not getting the job? Like, I'm not crazy, am I? But eventually I learned that I'm not supposed to be. I had one last job, and the last job I had was in 1998, I think. And I hated that job. But for me, it was like torture. I was sitting inside of this job. The whole day I was plotting my escape. How do I get out of this damn job? Like, I am not going to be the dude that retires 30 years from now with the gold watch. That is not going to happen. How do I get out of this job? So eventually I had to just jump into entrepreneurship and just start it on my own and just do it. Just I never looked back from there. But that leads me to my last question for y'all today. As we're talking about jobs and employment now, right? So this is going to be deep, Quaylen. I want you to sit back and think about this one as a youngster, because I learned this when I was like 21, right? I didn't know what it was, but when I got older, it started sinking in, and I never looked back after I left my last job. And I left that last job partially because of what we're about to talk about. So, how would y'all describe employment? Define it. See, we're talking about a lot of titles, we're throwing them out there, but if we don't define them, there's no understanding. It's just a feeling and a concept. I like to deal with the root of stuff. How would you define? Somebody has a fan going that's kind of loud. I don't know what it is. How would you define employment or an employee? Because they're synonymous. How would you define that? I'll start with you, Quaylen, since you're younger. I want to see what you think.
Employment and employee. I feel as if employment or being an employee is building someone else's dream regarding yours to help them build theirs. I want to be able to get my time and my money back so I can go and do the things that I'm passionate about and that I feel like I'm moving towards my purpose. That's it if I'm working 40, 50 hours a week for the next 40 years. And I feel like employment is just saying that my dreams can go on hold. I put myself on sale for money. I'll sell myself and my time for money, give my best years of myself to someone else's dream instead of the things that only I can do, which is like, be a father of my family when they come, or like be a big brother to my brothers and things of that nature. And being an employee is saying that like this job is more important than y'all. And that's not the case.
Now, is that your feeling, or is that what you read somewhere in the definition?
That's just more so just a culmination of a lot of the different things that I heard about it, and then that's just like more so what I feel based off of a lot of stuff that I've heard. So I can't give you a specific definition of employee. Like I couldn't give you a specific definition of passion. Everything that I'm sharing is coming from experience that I could give you a specific definition, but give me a couple seconds to look it up. I'm just more so speaking from like what the word means for me through the experiences that I've lived thus far. And employment, that's what it is. I don't work full time. I don't work part time. I'm gonna work because I have a work ethic, but I'm not gonna work for nobody else. Like I'm finna retire, like, and be working on the things that I actually want to work on. Like being an employee, it's just a short term thing. I feel like it's necessary to learn the importance of stepping out and having your own, and that you ain't gonna learn that lesson sometimes otherwise unless you have been employed to know the importance of why you want that for
you. Okay. TJ, what does employee mean?
Well, when I think of somebody to do my bidding, you know what I'm saying, as a business owner, people come to me and say, oh, I graduated from this school. I'd be like, you're going to make a great employee for me, So that's all I think. I think someone that's going to help me to get closer to my dream, maintain my dream, get me there to my dream faster. That's what I'm looking for me, an employee to help me. And as soon as I can get a robot, I will be replacing them. I'm just kidding.
No,
But
I'm
that's
just
basically
serious.
what it is. I mean,
Okay.
It's just an employee is a person to help me get to my dream faster. I know y'all heard that thing about the guy said, you like this Ferrari? He said, yeah, this is amazing. I said, then the guy said, well, if you work even harder, next year I'll get an even better one. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think about when I think about employees. That's what I say, employee training camps, and I hate that. I hate they put that on our people.
I say, thank you for that. Jasmine, how do you define employee?
As you guys were talking, I just feel like if we're talking about purpose and passion, I just feel like the way that you guys kind of just talked about an employee is as if they don't have a purpose or passion. And I feel like a purpose is for everyone, just like we were talking about, and everyone has a passion. So whether that is to help build your dream, okay, but they still have a calling. They still have something that God assigned them to do. So I feel like an employee is someone that maybe wants to live a safe life, but they still have their regular things to do. And they might be fine with that. Like the Walmart guy, who most of them are older men, they might be happy checking off your receipt and happy giving you a sticker. Everybody doesn't have to be an entrepreneur. Like I got a whole college degree in sociology. I'm a social worker, so I actually am using my degree. Fortunately, my degree was free because I worked my butt off in high school to get a full scholarship. But not everybody has that opportunity. But some degrees are absolutely beneficial for you. And I'm still a social worker that is an entrepreneur at the same time. So I know I just went on a whole little thing. And then employment, I feel like employment, honestly, I just feel like at the end of the day, it's about giving people an opportunity, no matter what it is. If you're cleaning a house, you're having an opportunity to build some character. If you don't want, learning how not to take shortcuts, building integrity on being on time. There are so many things that we can do. It doesn't matter if you're an employee or the employer. Your point is to treat everybody the same, give everybody the opportunity to change their life. That's just for me, though.
I mean, you're right, because there's a thing that I've learned. There's only 3 types of people on planet Earth when it comes to stuff we're talking about. There's people who create the opportunities, the owners, the creators, the artists, right? They create the opportunities. And then there's people who come right below that aid the creator with that process of creating it or keeping it going, like supervisors, people that are higher positions within the organization that aids the creation of that thing. And then you have the people who are what I call the fans, the people who are the mail deliverers, the people who do the 9 to 5 work, right? Everybody's not going to be at the top. It's just not going to be the reality. So therefore, entrepreneurial is not always the answer for everybody. Everybody's not meant to be rich. Somebody has to do the grunt work in this world. So if people understand, that's why I asked the question of purpose, because everybody's purpose is not to be rich. Everybody's purpose is not to graduate from college. Everybody's purpose is not to be homeless even. You know what I mean? If we go to the full spectrum of the situation. So when I say employee, I'm only mentioning it in this context because I'm truly about educating the youth and giving them something that they probably hadn't heard before, and then taking away the option of them being able to say later on in life, I never heard that. Right? So I learned when I was 21 what an employee was. Someone told me to grab a Black's Law Dictionary. And I didn't even know why he asked me to grab this. But I went to the store, a bookstore in Orange County, California. They had a law bookstore. You can go buy used law books in there. I went and grabbed that book. And when I got it, he was helping me with some definitions of things for whatever reason, because I guess he knew I liked law. And I read this definition, and it told me that an employee is synonymous with being a servant.
Mm-hmm.
And the law is like religion, right? It's like a spider web that never ends. So if you read one thing, you got to go define the other things based upon what you just read, right? So when I said, okay, well, what is a servant? And then servant says, it is one who conducts master's affairs. I said, he called me a slave?
That's where it came from.
I said, hold up. So I'm supposed to go to pay all this money and get this degree, graduate proudly, leave with debt just to go be an employee and be a servant? Like this is 1845? You're financing my slave ship.
Can I add something there?
Go ahead, Bob.
I have been thinking about that for a while because I was like, I see trades coming up, and I feel like a lot of college, I feel like HBCUs, a lot of them gonna be straight because like people are understanding the culture and we really where it's at. However, I do think something that colleges could do long term that could be a good fix for them is that have it be results based, where it's like you don't pay all this upfront and then you may get a job, you may not. Have it where it's like tuition. I'm not saying it's free, maybe just like bare minimum and things of that nature. And then based off of the results that we've been able to help you do and succeed in life, you give back to the institution. And based on the benevolence that we get back, we'll really be able to show you the scale of how we impact the community, and people really love us for what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And now they pay it forward by giving back to the institution, things of that nature. And if they took that model, one, I think they'll be making sure that they really find opportunities for people instead of just like saying, okay, you graduated, cool, peace, pay us in a couple of months. They'll really be invested in the people that's graduating and coming through that process because they're like, no, we need you for real, because we can't continue to do what we do. And if they look at it from that process, I think that will help that college situation and the significance of it, because they'll actually be contributing to the people, elevating and doing the things they want to do in society.
Mm-hmm. I mean, thank you for that, Bob. This is the reason why a lot of this stuff goes over these children's head, because of, if it's all about the connection to the children in a society, then that's exactly the model that should be in place. It shouldn't be about a tuition. Like, people pay taxes every day. Why are you paying a tuition to go to school? Just to go back and give to another corporation that's going to make you pay more taxes. Like, it's not designed to help the overall everybody in the country. Is designed to help the people that are on the top of that 3-tier pole that I told you about. It's designed to feed them at the top. So we're financing our employment or our servitude only to work a life just to try to retire. And then when you retire, you probably last about 10 years on average.
I think I want to touch on some things. We got a lot of amazing people that has a great purpose, that now they're some, you got people who've been singing since they was 5 years old or been doing something since they was a kid, and now all of a sudden they're old enough and they get shuffled off into the system. Okay, go to college, do this, do that, got to make us proud of you. And they're not pursuing their dream that wanting to be a singer or whatever it is, or a business owner or something, design some kind of something. They got in their mind that I'm gonna design a brand new something. But then when they go into school, they turn around and they meet a woman, get her pregnant, and women be like, well, you got to have what I got. You know what I'm saying? You got a degree, I got a degree, you got to have one. So now we setting them up for failure, because you basically saying, well, you owe 200,000 and you looking for me and I owe 200,000. That ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, well, babe, I really know how to sing and I want to get out here and do this singing. No, you not. You know what I'm saying? We owe 400,000 and we got a mortgage and we got 2 kids. You ain't finna do nothing but keep that job. So we got a lot of people that cannot fulfill their purpose because they buried in debt and scared their wife gonna leave them, or they'll never see their child again if they mess up this perfect union that Western America told them looks perfect. This is success. This is success, and AKA married such and such. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, both of you, he went to Howard and she went to more, blah, blah, blah. And that y'all perfect. The world loves you. Everybody cheers you on. But the reality is you sad because you really wanted to be a singer, but you cannot afford to leave to go pursue that. Or you really wanted to design something or do something or blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people will never fulfill their purpose because of that.
Are you guys familiar with what the Bible says about debt? No?
Yeah, slavery.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're in debt, you're a slave to the person you owe money to. So how do we put children in a place to be a slave from the gate? Because it's designed based upon the employee constructs. They're setting you up to be an employee. It's designed that way. I'm only saying this, y'all, because these are not conversations that we have in the hood, so to speak, right? We don't have these conversations. So I want to take out the elephant. I want the elephant in the room to be assassinated, so to speak. He needs to go. We need to deal with him, because these conversations about how we just going to send our kids to school and they're going to live this white picket fence life, and like, no, that's not reality. I do not want my son to go into enslavement. I just don't. I have not punched the clock in almost 20 years. It's highs and there's lows to it. But I'd rather be in the lows than be punching your clock. That's just me. Now, could I work for somebody else in another way under the table? That's another way. There's always ways where you don't have to be an employee. There's always, I'm not just talking about for the entrepreneurial people, though. I'm talking about for regular people too. You don't have to punch a clock. It's called contracting. We decide to get employee jobs because it seems safer. It seems more reliable. That white man ice is always colder.
You know what I don't like? When I opted out of going to college or the military and moved out of my mom's house, my family turned against me, be like, oh, he climbed out of the barrel. He wasn't supposed to do that. So now let's wait for him to fail. Nobody helped TJ. He's going to go do this entrepreneurship thing. Nobody help him. You know what I'm saying? Let him fail and he's going to regret it. And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell is going on? Why am I the enemy? Because I want to be an entrepreneur. And I'm just looking at the whole family is like, mm-mm. Now here I am, did very well in life. I'm in magazines of this. I did all of that and did all these amazing things where I should be held a hero, I feel, because I turned convicted felons and gang members into straight up businessmen. But I can't even get a pat on the back or a baby, I'm proud of you, or, can we work with you to help to continue your work? And I'm like, that's when college became a weapon. It's been weaponized to work against us.
Yeah, man. I hope you're getting something out of this, Quaylen.
Quit. I'm gonna drop out tomorrow.
It's funny because I know in one of the songs that I was writing, that's one of the things I'm passionate about. I wrote about how like I was at Morehouse bumping College Dropout, and I was like, this is crazy, just hearing this while on this campus, trying to find my purpose and do my thing, and like I just got faith that God gonna handle or the higher power gonna do however they do. Because when I had my plans, it was like that's cute, like. So God obviously got a sense of humor to look at what I want and be like, that's cute. Here's what's really finna happen. You're finna go through these X, Y, and Z, and that's gonna lead you towards it. But I do like what you were saying, TJ. Not about like the story about how that happened to you. I apologize for that being the case. But I do find that interesting because I know you said they climbed out the bucket. I know what I thought it was like that crabs in the bucket.
The barrel, yeah.
About with that, and they be trying to pull you back. And it's interesting hearing that be the case. And I don't want that to be the case. I want it to be like touted that, hey, look, there's another way for you to make it, not just only this, or you're bad. It's like, hey, you could do these things, or you also have this option as well. You should be celebrated for giving them another option or route to take. I thought that was awesome. So shout out to you for that.
Appreciate it. You know, I think that every family should have some type of business owners in it, and we should mold the children of the family. Since I'm the successful businessman and you really like to argue, you want to be an attorney, I'm already the businessman. I'm molding you saying, okay, well, you're going to be an attorney. And when you graduate, you're going to take this office back here and start your own law firm. And then we're going to help you to grow. I'm going to give you my clients, and we're going to give your cards out to all my customers. And I know Brother Jasir got a bunch of clients, customers too. So I'm going to tell him, can we leave your cards over there? And then you grow out of my shop and get your own. That's how entrepreneurship's supposed to work. You're not supposed to come home and, oh, I got to run over to the courthouse to get a job because these $2,000 a month in student loans about to kick in. You know, that don't make no sense. We need to be able to take things. I like to see these young people take things that can help the community. Like, okay, like if you come to me and say, hey, I'm a accountant, I can be like, okay, you can definitely help me with my books. I'm a business owner. You come in, I'm a social media marketing firm. I know how to do that social media. I got all, you can help all my friends. Let me get you, here's all their phone numbers. So we got to put ourselves in situations where you guys come home with value. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you thinking about being a mechanic? Oh, well, I own a tow truck company. I got like 10 trucks. And my homeboy got like 30 trucks. He's the man. So you can work on all, I'll give you that account. You see what I'm saying? You know you coming home to money. So I use my sister, for example. I'm a car builder. I'm putting cars in movies and all of that. My girlfriend owns a beauty salon. My little sister's in school to do hair. I got her already, her life is already projected out. I told my ex-wife, I said, hey, my little sister coming home from school, she's going to go in your beauty salon. You're going to train her up. I'm going to help you open a second salon, and we're going to franchise the brand, and we're going to continue to open them. So she's going to run your shop. So I told my little sister, she's like, I'm with it. So she knew coming home what her plan was. She's going to come over here and take over this shop, and we about to franchise the shops. And she also know we're going to start looking into manufacturing our own products. She knew this while she was in school. You know what I'm saying? So she had something to come home to with that idea. And then people wondering why she's so successful. So that's what the same thing as the white folks do with their children. They already know what they're coming home for. Hey, you made it back. So we supposed to be, I look at my daughter, okay, I'm thinking about making some documentaries. I want to do all of this stuff, tell some of these amazing stories or whatever. I put my daughter in film school because she didn't know what she wanted to do. She had not yet figured out her purpose. I want you to go to film school, and you're going to go in there and find all these amazing other filmmaker students. You might be sitting next to the next Tyler Perry or Steven Spielberg or something. So befriend all of them. You know what I'm saying? Daddy's going to pay for the movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to buy all your equipment, and I'm paying for you. And if you got some other friends that really know their life, that's about that life, I'll pay for them too, because I want to start our own film company when y'all get out of school. You see what I'm saying? This is things that help us, you know? So we got to start looking at society like that. So our young people, if you're going to go to school that's going to do something to benefit me, I'm going to make sure I make this paid for. Trust me, you ain't coming home with student loans. because it's gonna benefit the community. Oh, I'm gonna go call all my partners and be like, look, she gonna be an attorney and she can't. We got to make sure she paid in full so she can come home and work for us. They're gonna be like, bet, and that's how that works.
That's funny you said that, because one of my favorite analogies to that concept is the TV show Empire. You remember that TV show?
I can go deep on that, but we'll leave it alone. Go ahead.
Well, it's not made to be deep. No unks on this one, all right? So I only mention that show because of the constructs of their family. Like, daddy had the talent, mama supported the talent, and she was the mouthpiece. And then the kids grew up. One of them became the daddy and rapped, took his spot. The other one went to school, came back with a financial degree, to came back and plugged into the family to help it to run. Despite all the drama that they had in the show, that's what I paid attention to.
Right. The
core of it, right? So to me, if you're going to go to school or a trade, it should be something to come back and contribute to what your nucleus should already be doing. But since the nucleus is already divided and splintered and there's no real purpose within the family but to pay bills, then we don't have nothing to plug back into. So you're sent out on your own to figure this out. It shouldn't be that way. It should be reversed. It should be something that the family has started, that your talent that you were born into is designed to go out there and get that thing and come back to the family and contribute to it.
I got one. You're absolutely right. Same thing. I call it they call it cooperative economics.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But what I look at is, I sit back and study and watch people, and I look at the plight of our college students. They go off to college, they leave the community, they go become an AKA, become a such and such or whatever, and then it become like they didn't join the gang now. So they don't need us because they have their fraternity, they frat brothers. They love if they treated the community how they treat their how they treat their frat brothers and sisters, we'd be all right. Because I look at people like, that's my frat sister, my fraternity brother, and he's good. Like, I gotta help him. So the way they feel about their fraternity, I felt about all the people in Compton. You see what I'm saying? I felt about everybody who came home from jail. We got to make sure he cool so he don't go back. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, there's a need for me to work with you on my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I got to communicate with you. I got to talk to these young people. I got to make sure everybody's good because I need all y'all to support my business. So when people see me, they be like, oh, that's TJ. He's cool. He owned that business over there. He told me he going to give me a job when I turn 20. He gave me $5 to sweep the parking lot. He gave me $100 on my books for college. You know what I'm saying? I have to have relationships with everybody. But as a college student, they be like, I don't know why them fools over there doing that. I don't want nothing to do with them. I can't wait till I get my degree and my job and I'm moving out the neighborhood. I ain't never looking back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That is how I see them because
Mm-hmm.
they don't come back. And I look at our communities crumbling, especially coming out here to Georgia. I'm like, how y'all let these houses deteriorate like this? They be like, everybody's moving away, moving to the white neighborhoods, building their neighborhood up. Saying forget ours.
That was one of my main concerns in Georgia. When I came over there by all the more houses in the colleges, I was like, what in the world is this?
It's terrible.
Like, that is not, man, that is a telltale sign of what we're talking about, though, because we're talking about a black college. So it's telltale signs of what I just said. Like, there's nothing to plug back into in place. It's only designed to take your talent to somebody else that can give you the check that you desire. That's the only thing it's for, it seems like at this point. There's nothing to do with us building, particularly first, our families.
Right.
Secondly, the community that we come from. There's no way that area should look like that.
Right.
No way. But that's the thing that we have to conquer. I'm gonna move on because we got to get out of here. I want to wrap this up. I'm gonna give everybody a good 60 seconds or less. We're gonna do our jury box segment. I want you to reach down into your jury box and think that you're speaking to one of these kids that's about to graduate high school and about to begin their life. We can't control where they came from. We can't control what they've seen and what they've been exposed to or not exposed to. But they ran across you coming out of Trader Joe's one day and saw you, and you guys sparked a conversation. What would you say? Reach down in your jewelry box and drop them a jewel on their life. What would you say based upon them being able to first visualize, pursue their passion and purposes in order to achieve their goal and their destiny in this life? What kind of jewel would you drop on that child right in front of Trader Joe's? I'm not getting paid for this. Why did I say that? But anyway, right in front of Trader Joe's.
Simply wholesome.
Let's say that. Simply wholesome. West Side rolling, baby. Simply wholesome. All right. So what would you say to that youngster in that moment? TJ, I'll go with you. 60 seconds or less.
Your success could be the community's success. Pull some people up with you.
That's simple. Okay. Thank you, Baba. I shizzle. I'm gonna go to Jasmine.
I would say follow your heart. Whatever you feel like you're good at, stick with that. Don't let anyone discourage you from whatever it is you feel led to do. Find a network of people who do what you do or better. Surround yourself with them more often. Read a lot of books that empower you, build your character, help you think outside the box of your norm. And I would just say, yeah, that's what I would say.
I'll say thank you, yeah. And Quaylen.
I would leave them with two things. One, get over rejection and failure real quick, because any opportunity you have gonna come with it. So the quicker you can get over that and be like, I'm gonna learn from this, instead of just like be hurt or run from the fact that you'll be able to get some stuff done quicker. And then also, don't just think about what you want to do. Think about how you want to live, and then from there, think about the ways that'll be able to get to that. Don't just be like, my whole purpose is to be a doctor, or just be, because you're more than just that title. You're you. So just think about how you want to live and the impact that you want to leave, and then from there, look at how you want to structure your life.
Appreciate y'all. I guess I'll drop the last jewel of the day. Don't laugh at me, Jasmine. I'm going to say it again anyway, though. There's an African proverb, okay, that says, he who is looking for what is unrealistic shall certainly attain what is unrealistic. We talked about purpose. We talked about passion. I'm leaving employment off the table because it has nothing to do with any of it. If we're going to find a realistic life as a youngster, if you're looking for a realistic life, search for your purpose. It's not in a tuition application. It's not in homeroom class. It's not on the basketball court or the track field. What is your purpose? Because purpose doesn't have a retirement date. You don't retire from your purpose. You jump in the grave doing your purpose. You retire from the employment. Be realistic about what you want. Chase your passion. Fine-tune your passion. But keep your eye on the purpose. And do not employ your purpose. I'm going to say that one again. Do not employ your purpose. Your purpose is yours. Your purpose is your ticket out of whatever you're doing. That's why you were born with it. It's not meant to give to somebody else. If you pursue that situation called your purpose, there is no ending for you in sight, because can't nobody take that from you. There's no school that can give it to you. There's no class that can presented to you, it is already inside of you. And it's so magical once you cross paths with it. It is an amazing thing to see happen within a person. I used to train people in sports, and I train people now spiritually. They're similar, but when I see people get that light bulb go off spiritually, it is such a different situation. For me and for them, because now I can see that now they can actually go move on their own. They have the tool to tap into that thing that's always been inside of them. They've just been marketed other things that has been distracting them. But now they can see clearly where to go. Purpose is a degree we all need. So that's what I would say to you, young man, young lady. Find that. And then find somebody with the purpose and connect with that. Be around purpose circles. People that are fit and connect to that purpose that you have. And that's the best way you can cultivate that and keep it alive, keep it going, and fulfill it and reach your destiny. Thank y'all for being here, man. This has been an interesting conversation. I am King Ruler. This is Post-Traumatic Hood Disorder, Heal PTHD Podcast. We are here helping to shine the light on the abnormalities that are normal in the hood, that are normalized in the hood. We want to shine light on them so we can change those ideas, so that we can change the realities in our communities. I give thanks for everybody's presence. See you next time, next week, same time, new topic. I am King Ruler. Ashe.